If you're a high school student and you're looking to pursue a career in business, there are two different ways to go. And in this video, we're going to look at the pros and cons of each approach. So one approach, if you're graduating high school, is to go directly to an undergraduate business program. And this is a 4-year program, and you'll graduate with a business degree. It's usually called the Bachelor of Science in Economics or Business Administration or something like that. And the other way is to just go to a 4-year liberal arts college and to major in whatever specialty interests you the most, but to make sure that you supplement that general education with some specific business training. So you want to make sure that you take some economics courses and some math courses, and that you spend your summers doing strategic business internships. But whether you want to be an entrepreneur or work in finance or be a management, work as a management consultant, or work on Wall Street or work for a nonprofit or work for the government, you can get there either way. And there's success stories both paths. So it's really a matter of finding which is the better fit for you. Let's talk first about undergraduate business programs. What are they? Well, you probably know that there are graduate business programs where you get your MBA, but this is different. These are 4-year programs where you go directly after high school to get your business degree. And there are schools like UPenn has Wharton, and NYU has Stern, and UMichigan has Ross. And these are programs specifically designed for people who are coming right out of high school and know that they want to go into business. And what are some of the advantages of these programs? Well, one is that you typically don't have to take all of the core requirements that you would normally take for a liberal arts degree. So you don't have to take all those English classes and science classes and foreign language classes. You really get to focus on business because you know that that's what you want to do. And each school will vary a little bit, and you may have to take some of those courses, but it won't be as much as if you were going for a liberal arts degree. And that really gives you freedom to focus on different business aspects so that you can have a concentration maybe in marketing or information systems, or advertising or behavioral economics or data science or whatever particular area of business interests you the most. Another advantage of an undergraduate business program is that the type of business training you get in college is much more practical and hands-on than you would ever get from a liberal arts education. So with a liberal arts education, you might study economics or math, but it's all very theoretical and you're learning from a textbook. But when you get an undergraduate business degree, everything is very practical. So you might consult for a local company. You work doing case studies. Your group might work together launching your own startup. Everything is very practical. So you get your feet wet, you get your hands dirty, and you really get a lot of excellent day-to-day training. So what are some of the cons of undergraduate business programs? Well, the biggest one is that they're really hard to get into. It's generally harder to get admitted into an undergraduate business program than it is admitted to just a liberal arts college for a general Bachelor of Arts degree. And not only is it more selective to get in, but you have to have different things on your resume. To get in, you need to show during the course of high school that you've already achieved some level of proficiency in business. Maybe you started your own business or you started your own nonprofit. And you also have to show that you have a lot of leadership skills because that's really important for business. So you have to show in different clubs you were the leader, or you formed different clubs, or whatever you got involved in, you really kind of showed proficiency in areas of business and leadership. And you also have to demonstrate that you were really good in math. You have to take some high-level math classes like calculus. And if it wasn't offered at your school, then maybe you took an online course. So the bar for getting into an undergraduate business program is higher than it would be if you were just going for your liberal arts degree. Before we move on, I should point out that there are two different ways to be admitted to these undergraduate business programs. Some schools are set up so that you apply directly out of high school. These are direct admit programs, and this would be like UPenn Wharton and Cornell's Johnson and NYU Stern. So here's where you have to have evidence on your high school resume that you're ready to go to an undergraduate business school. You already have good business credentials. But then there's another group that are equally popular, which are delayed admission. You can't apply directly to the program straight out of high school. You have to get into the college first. And then after a year or two of being there and taking a certain number of introductory level classes, then you apply to try to get into the program. And MIT Sloan works like this. UVA's McIntyre works like this. Emory's Goizueta works like this. There's no way to directly get into the program. And this is a little bit of a catch-22 because on the one hand, well, you don't need to have great business experience on your high school resume to get in because you're going to go to college first, and then once you're there, you'll apply to the program. On the other hand, there's no guarantee that after you've been at this college for a year or two and you apply, you're going to get in. And some of them are very competitive to get into. So, you may find that you're stuck at a school majoring in something or studying something that you didn't intend to. So it's a little bit of a catch-22. Now, if you want to find out which are the top-ranked undergraduate business school programs, you can just search for U.S. News, World and Report's annual ranking of undergraduate business programs. But I'll tell you what they are here for the year 2024. So the top 10 for 2024 are UPenn's Wharton, MIT Sloan, UC Berkeley's Haas, UMichigan's Ross, NYU's Stern, UT Austin McCombs, Carnegie Mellon Tepper, Cornell's Johnson, Indiana University's Kelly, and UNC Chapel Hill's Keenan Flagler. And there are many others. Like this list continues down, and you'll find that there are many other great options for you, including USC has a great one, UVA, Emory, Georgetown, Notre Dame, Washington University, and St. Louis. So there are a lot of excellent programs, but these are kind of the best overall. But you should also know, once you start looking into these in more detail, that they each specialize in different areas. So really it's going to be finding the one that's the best fit for you. And for example, Babson College, just outside of Boston, is ranked #1 for entrepreneurship, even though it doesn't show up on any of these top 10 lists. And University of Vermont has a really great program in sustainable green businesses. So it's important when you start doing your research and looking at the websites of these different programs that you kind of have an idea of maybe what you want to specialize in, because some schools will have that and some schools won't. Now let's turn our attention to the other way to pursue a career in business, which is to just go to a good school and get a liberal arts degree. And you can major in whatever you want, but you supplement it with enough economics and math courses and some really good summer internships in business. And many people do it this way, and they end up incredibly successful. So there are pros and cons of doing this. The pro of doing this is that you truly can pursue whatever topics interest you, and you can major in Eastern Studies, for example, and you can do a study abroad in China, and you could learn Mandarin and really pursue your passion without having to just do business at such a young age. And the advantage here is that when you then apply to positions after graduation, a lot of top companies will really appreciate the fact that you're not just business. You didn't hyper-focus too early, and you've got some unique skill sets. So, for example, a lot of companies probably want to open a division in China, or they have partners in China. And so here, where if you have this other skill set where, I majored in Eastern Studies and I speak Mandarin and I've spent time in China, that's going to be very valuable. It won't be valuable to all companies, but you can't be all things to all people. What you really want to do is you really want to kind of stand out in some way and have some kind of niche specialties so that when you're applying to certain companies, you've got this rare combination of business experience and Eastern Studies experience that a lot of people don't have, and that will really make you stand out. But I would say that one of the cons of going this route is that you really don't get that kind of hands-on business experience until after you graduate. It's very difficult to really get meaningful experience during a short summer period. Those internships are great and they're invaluable. But by going to an undergraduate business school, like, you really sink your teeth into these programs and you launch your own startups and you work with local businesses and you really kind of get 4 years of professional training. You get a head start. Whereas if you're pursuing your liberal arts degree, your interest is kind of scattered on different things. So that can be a little bit of a con for you. But at the end of the day, top companies appreciate both. Like, they appreciate the real world business experience that students get through undergraduate business programs. But on the other hand, they really know that other students who graduate from really top schools are smart and ambitious and hardworking and high achieving, and they will learn on the job. And sometimes they bring these unique specialties which make them even more valuable. So if you're wondering what are the best liberal arts colleges to go to pursue a career in business, it's really just the top ranked universities overall. And they've done studies which kind of look at where you got your undergraduate degree versus how much money you made in your business career. And there's this clear link. You know, the more prestigious the university you went to, typically the higher you're paid for your business job. So, for example, some of the top 10 highest paying jobs in finance go to graduates of MIT, Harvard, Princeton, UPenn, Dartmouth, Yale, Columbia, Duke, Middlebury, and UChicago. And again, these are just some of the most prestigious colleges in the nation. You really can't go wrong with any of them. And so if you want to go this route and you want to get your liberal arts degree, just go to a really good school with a really solid reputation. Study whatever you want, within reason, and just make sure you supplement it with some hardcore business, economics, math courses, and also some great summer programs. So I hope this was helpful. In the video description, I'll provide some of the listings of these top undergraduate business programs and top undergraduate colleges for liberal arts degrees. And I'll also include my email. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me.